Hello everyone, this is Phoenix Ankaa. Hello, and welcome to today's video. We're diving into a topic that beautifully intertwines logic and spirituality, the presence of certain additives in our food and their potential impact on our well-being. Imagine this. What if the very building blocks that make up our food could influence not just our physical health, but also our spiritual journey? In this video, we'll explore the science behind ribonucleotides and flavor enhancers, and how they interact with our bodies on a molecular level. But that's not all. We'll also delve into the holistic spiritual implications of these substances. Why should you care? Because understanding both the logical and spiritual sides of what we consume can empower us to make more informed, conscious choices. This isn't just about food, it's about aligning our physical and spiritual selves in harmony. So stay with us as we uncover the hidden layers of our everyday diet and reveal the profound connections that could enhance our lives. Let's embark on this journey together and discover how something as simple as a food additive can resonate deeply within our being. Don't miss this. Let's do this. Hey everybody, this is Phoenix. We're getting right on this. Globally, what's in your food? This is not just the United States. This is something that is going on around the whole entire planet. I've seen places such as New Zealand mentioned, the UK, all throughout Europe. I've also seen that some of the Asian countries as well. This is global, okay? But they're food additives that are being added that can actually affect your DNA. Now we're going to get into what those are. Now, how can they affect us? Well, first of all, let's get this out the way. You're going to discover how strange and unknown ingredients that are actually on food packages that no one's even talking about, unless they've had something happen. Ingredients related to building blocks of DNA. That's what's actually on the package, something that's related to building blocks of DNA. Researched AI and the findings were shocking. So we actually went to AI, went online, did some serious digging to find out what exactly is this about building blocks. Certain things with building blocks are in our food. Well, while researching, I have to make sure that I speak to AI in a certain way. I had to make sure that I stated that we're going to focus on exoteric explanation. In other words, we're going to get the mainstream explanation first. Okay? Then second, you're going to see gradually while I'm actually conversing with AI, you're going to see that the conversation goes esoteric, which means hidden, which can mean also spiritual. So it ends up being a different mindset. So we have the left and right-minded mindset going on in this whole entire research, which is needed. In conclusion, you would be able to have a balanced assessment. So you'll have a logical, and you'll also have the right-minded spiritual, so that way you can decide how this affects you and how important this is. Now, I'm going to show you the conversation that I had with AI. And if I blunder on some of these words, just be patient with me. I'm not a biology major, but I did do a short study on it. Now, what is ribonucleotides? What are those? Imagine your body is like a big busy city with lots of workers. Ribonucleotides are like tiny building blocks that help the workers do their jobs. There are special molecules that make up the RNA, which is like a set of instructions that tells our body how to make proteins and other important things. Think of them as the Lego pieces that build important structures in your body. Now, effects in food. Ribonucleotides can sometimes be found in food, especially in things like meat, fish, and yeast. When we eat these foods, ribonucleotides can boost the flavor. They can make food taste better. For example, they are often used in flavor enhancers like MSG, monosodium glutamate, to give food a savory taste. Second, it provides nutrients that help our bodies by providing essential nutrients that support various functions like growth and repair. So ribonucleotides are important little helpers in our bodies and can make food taste great too. Now, this is kind of interesting. Now, walk with me on this. This is something that's a building block of DNA, but it's being used as a flavor enhancer. Now, keep that in mind, so that way you're really grasping exactly what this is about. Ribonucleotides are the building blocks of RNA, which play a critical role in how our cells function. Let's break it down simply. How they can affect our DNA. Now, before we get into this, you're probably asking yourself, why am I talking about all of this? It's because I was in an international grocery store and I picked something up that I thought would probably be good. I put it in my basket and something said, read the ingredients. And the word that I saw that I never had seen before in my life was ribonucleotides. And I was like, what's that? Is that something new? So I went ahead and looked it up, and on my phone, it said it was a building block of DNA. I immediately put the package, took it out of my cart, put that stuff back in the frozen foods and went on my way and said, I'm going to have to research this. So now let's look into what this is really. Now you'll understand what I was reading, why I panicked. Now, how they affect our DNA. RNA and DNA relationship. Ribonucleotides are part of RNA, which helps in the process of making proteins from our DNA's instructions. Think of RNA as the messenger, and we've heard this before, that carries the instructions from DNA to the protein-making factories in our cells. Guys, we're talking about our food, and now we're talking about DNA. Now, don't you find that a little uncomfortable? I did. I still do. Mutations. If there is a mistake or change in the ribonucleotides, it can sometimes cause errors in the RNA. This can lead to changes in the proteins made, which might affect how our cells work. In some cases, these errors can cause mutations, which are changes in the DNA sequence. Are you following me? Now, we're going to have some links in the description. I'm not going to go through these websites, but I want you to look at them. They're international, and it's going to break some things down for you, and you're going to see people actually breaking out from what we're talking about right now. All right? Health implications. While our cells have mechanisms to fix these mistakes, sometimes the errors can lead to diseases or conditions if they are not corrected properly. In summary, ribonucleotides are vital for making sure our cells function correctly. Changes or mistakes in them can sometimes lead to problems with our DNA, which is why they are so important. Okay, so in other words, your DNA can end up becoming messed up with these particular things in our food. Yes, ribonucleotides in food can potentially affect a person's DNA. My question was, it's for tests, but it can affect the person's DNA? And it said yes. Affect a person's DNA, but it's a bit complicated. Now, remember, we're still on the exoteric, the commercial response. This is going to get deeper, so I really hope you got a pen and paper and at least wrote down ribonucleotides, so that way you can do some research for yourself. You really do, especially if you have children, okay? This is how it works. Ingestion. When we eat foods containing ribonucleotides, they get broken down in our digestive system. Absorption. Some of these ribonucleotides are absorbed into our bloodstream and can reach our cells. Interaction. Inside our cells, ribonucleotides can sometimes be mistakenly incorporated into DNA instead of the usual building blocks. And that one there is the DNA one right there. I can try deoxyribonucleotides. Wow. I feel like I'm learning a different language, which I am. Now, we're going to talk about the potential effects. Now, these are the things that can happen to you by having these flavor enhancers that are related to RNA and DNA and all this other stuff. How this stuff can affect you. Potential effects: DNA stability. If ribonucleotides get incorporated into the DNA, they can make the DNA less stable and more prone to damage. Cell function. This can potentially affect how cells function and replicate, which might lead to various cellular abnormalities. Okay, you're learning what's in food. We're still talking about food. The biology part of it might be boring, but you gotta understand something. You need to stick around and see what's in your food. Our bodies have repair mechanisms to fix these mistakes, so the occasional presence of ribonucleotides in food is generally not harmful. Remember, we're still in the exoteric version. There's a lot more to this, and I really hope you stick around and make sure you press that like button. There was a lot of work put into this, and a lot of digging and trying to figure out the right questions to ask, okay? However, if there are too many mistakes and the repair mechanisms fail, it could lead to issues. In summary, like ribonucleotides in food can potentially affect DNA. Our bodies usually handle them well, and they are not typically cause for concern. Remember, we're still on the commercialized way of going about this. Now, you're getting ready to see a totally different response from AI now, because now we're going to talk about it in a different way. We're going to talk about it in a spiritual way, which is more of an esoteric. I had to remind AI, remember how we have spoken on esoteric and exoteric. And it came back because it remembers how it talks to you, whether you guys realize this or not. It says, absolutely, I remember we discussed the concepts of esoteric and exoteric. Guys, this was weeks ago. Esoteric, this refers to knowledge that is intended for or understood by only a small group of people with specialized knowledge or interests. It's often seen as hidden or inner knowledge. See, it's telling you. Exoteric, this is on the other hand refers to knowledge that is accessible to general public. That's what AI has been talking to us right now is through the exoteric. It's the outer knowledge that anyone can understand without needing specialized training. That's what it's saying. These concepts often come up in discussions about philosophy, spirituality, and various fields of study where there's a distinction between deeper, more complex insights and more basic, widely understood information. Now, this is important, guys. I know this is like some tedious information, but now it's about to get real. Well, I accept your exoteric information. In other words, the way we've been talking. So what is the esoteric side of this in foods? Now, this is the most important part of this video. Let's dive into the more esoteric, hidden, or deeper aspects of ribonucleotides in food. On a more subtle level, there are theories. A theory is not necessarily bad. It's figuring something out. You have to have a theory first before you come to a conclusion. And beliefs that extend beyond the obvious, scientifically proven effects. These might include energetic properties. Now, you need to understand this. Here we go. Some people believe that ribonucleotides, like all substances carry a specific energetic frequencies that can influence the body's energy fields. Now we are talking spiritual now. In this view, consuming foods with ribonucleotides might affect your body's energy balance in ways that go beyond the physical effects on DNA and cellular functions. Repeat. It might affect your body's energy balance in ways that go beyond the physical effects on DNA and cellular functions. Spiritual and vibrational impact. In certain holistic and spiritual practices, it's thought that the types of foods you consume can influence your spiritual well-being. Foods containing ribonucleotides might be viewed as having a particular vibrational qualities that could support or hinder your overall energetic health. Now we're getting there. We're going there now. Mind-body connection. Esoterically, this is important. The mind-body connection is often highlighted, suggesting that what we eat not only nourishes our physical bodies, but also affects our mental and emotional states. Ribonucleotides in food might be considered part of the intricate system, potentially impacting our mental clarity, our mood, and even our spiritual awareness. Rephrasing that. Ribonucleotides can potentially impact your mental clarity, mood, and even spiritual awareness. Evolutionary perspective. From an esoteric evolutionary perspective, there might be discussions about how modern diets include the presence of ribonucleotides play a role in human evolution. Human changes, and our capacity for higher consciousness or spiritual growth. It may play a role in human evolution and our capacity. It may affect our capacity for higher consciousness or spiritual growth. These perspectives are more speculative and not widely accepted in mainstream science. No, because that is exoteric. Science is exoteric. However, there are some spiritual people in science. But they offer an intriguing look at how deeper, often unseen effects might be considered in holistic or alternative medicine philosophies. So this can affect your spirituality, your connections, your spiritual awareness, your moods, and your mental clarity. My question is, has this ever been tested? And if so, what were the results? People are having reactions to this, guys. Some people had been sick for 6 months and didn't know what it was. It was the stuff they were eating and didn't realize it. Now, I'm going to say something to AI here. I said, glad to see your opinion, but most spiritual holistic people want to raise their spiritual capabilities without anyone's help as far as putting things in their foods. One wants to achieve their enlightenment stages based on wisdom, lessons learned, esoteric understanding, and heart chakra capabilities, since that is the seat of the soul. This is me talking. So if a scientist was telling me why it's in the food, I would see your response as accurate. But if I look at it from a holistic spiritual person's view, putting that ingredient in food is infringing on someone. Now, this is what AI states. You raise a compelling point. From a holistic spiritual perspective, many people seek to achieve enlightenment and spiritual growth through their own efforts, wisdom, and experiences. Same thing I said, just said it differently. They often emphasize the importance of natural, unaltered foods in maintaining their physical, emotional, and spiritual balance. Now, everyone that considers themselves a spiritual person, most people do feel that way. Not all, but quite a few do. Eating is spiritual. I'll repeat that again. Eating is spiritual. Key points from a holistic spiritual view. Autonomy. Many holistic spiritual practitioners value autonomy and self-determination in their spiritual journeys. Introducing a certain ingredients into their food without their knowledge might be seen as infringing on their ability to control their own path to enlightenment. When somebody puts something in your food, it's not just affecting your health. It can also be affecting your spiritual growth. This is the point that I'm trying to get across right now in this. Okay? Natural diet. A natural unprocessed diet is often seen as essential for maintaining the purity and energy needed for spiritual growth. Additives or modifications to food might be viewed as disruptions to this balance. Energetic integrity. The belief is that foods carry energies that can influence a person's overall well-being. Adding ingredients like ribonucleotides might be perceived as altering the energetic integrity of the food. Same as genetically modified foods. It affected the energetic integrity, potentially impacting their spiritual state. If you change anything with food, it can definitely affect you spiritually. Our bodies were accustomed to the food that was native to where we live. Everybody lives in different places. So the things that grow in a particular area spiritually also replenishes the people when they eat it. Now, if you turn around and you neuter a plant and put insect netting around it so the bees can't fertilize any of the flowers on it, and then the fruit still produce and it has no seeds, that is a big change of the seeds being fertile. It's fertile fruit. Spiritually, how does that affect things? When your body is used to eating something that is not sterile. Anyway, I'll keep going, but I'm just trying to show you that we really need to look at things that we're eating, and we need to, so those of you that are spiritual, I'm pretty sure you do look at it as a spiritual act, and that's eating and what you eat. Now, personal choice. Central to many spiritual practices is the idea of making conscious choices. Without transparency about food additives, individuals might feel their ability to make informed choices is being compromised. Understanding and respecting these perspectives is crucial. It highlights the importance of transparency and choice, especially when it comes to what we put in our bodies. Oh, AI, what you put in your bodies? Man, that makes me wonder, who am I talking to? Am I talking to AI? You got a body? That's so funny. All right. Okay, let's see if we can get this to change. Now, I said, yes, I have a question. That's supposed to be flavor enhancer. It's flavor enhancers. So, Disodium 5, Ribonucleotides, E635, on the same level of what we're talking about? I looked at some of the websites and I'm posting in the description of people that had reactions. And the one that they had was the E635. Yes, Disodium 5. And that's, the same thing. Ribonucleotides. E635 is indeed related to what we've been discussing. It is a flavor enhancer made from a combination of disodium, inosinate, E631, and disodium guanylate, E627. It's often used in foods to enhance the umami taste, which is the savory flavor that makes foods more delicious. In other words, the food doesn't taste good at all. So somebody feels they have to add something to enhance it, basically. And this is some dangerous stuff, I think, in my opinion, spiritually. To me, it's a spiritually dangerous thing to have in your food. That's just me. How it relates, similar to nucleotides, since E635 is made from ribonucleotides, it works in a similar way to enhance the flavor of foods. Synergy with MSG is often used together with monosodium glutamate, MSG, to boost the umami taste even more. Holistic perspective. From a holistic or spiritual perspective, some people might be concerned about the consuming additives like E635 because they prefer natural, unprocessed foods. They might feel that adding such ingredients interferes with the natural balance and purity of their diet, which they believe is important for their overall well-being and spiritual health. Now, I asked a question. I said, but this is still part of the building blocks of DNA. You're right. Ribonucleotides are indeed related to the building blocks of DNA, though there's a bit of a distinction to make. Building blocks of DNA versus RNA. Now, during a certain period of time, a few years back, this was really heavily discussed. Okay, I'm not going to get all into it, but there's different factors for each one. One has cytosine, I hope I say that right, guanine, and thymine. The other one is cytosine, guanine, and uracil. Okay. They have different components to it. Some are similar, a lot of it's similar, but there's one different one at the end, from what I'm seeing. Now, Disodium 5. While Disodium 5, skip that, 635 are derived from ribonucleotides, their role as a flavor enhancer in food doesn't directly involve them in the process of building DNA. They are primarily used for the ability to enhance taste, not their biological functions related to DNA and RNA. However, understanding that they are part of the broader family of the nucleotides helps explain their fundamental biological importance. So while they are not directly building blocks of DNA, they do share a similar biochemical foundation with the molecules that are. If you have any, ask me if I had any further questions. Now, it's dancing around again. I said they have a similar biochemical foundation in what way? Yeah, let's talk about this. Great question. Let's break down the ribonucleotides, the building blocks of RNA, and deoxyribonucleotides, the building blocks of DNA, have similar biochemical foundations, similarities. Now, basic structure, both ribonucleotides and deoxyribonucleotides are made up of three components: a phosphate group, a sugar molecule, and a nitrogenous base. So now they're looking at the chemical aspects of it. One thing they talked about, they go into detail, it's like saying some of the same things over and over again, but the nitrogenous bases also has another component to it, and they talk about, it mentions the polymerization. When I hear of polymer, I think of plastics. You have to think about that. And it's a lot of things in our bodies that are polymer, and I didn't even know that till recently. But both types of the neotides link together to form long chains. That's what the polymer in RNA, and ribonucleotides form a single-stranded molecule while in the DNA. And the deoxyribonucleotides form a double-stranded molecule. Wow, it's really getting in there, going in there. Some of you guys are biology people. The main thing I want to get here is to show you this. It shows you the basis, and it shows you those things that are actually, those things that were listed before. But it says in summary, both types of nucleotides are essential building blocks of genetic material forming the backbone of RNA and DNA. Why are we talking about enhancers, flavor enhancers, and look how deep we're getting into biology? Does this make sense to you? In DNA? Why are we putting something in that's related to DNA into the food? To make it taste good. Does that make it? That's not the real reason. That's the exoteric. What is the esoteric reason for that? Okay? They share a common structure and common base, but differ in their sugar compositions. Okay. This is almost done. I'm not going to read everything. Now, this is a question that I had here, and I've been saying it all along. Why would someone play with unsuspecting people with things that may affect the DNA or RNA of a person? I don't understand. Which I don't. It's understandable to be concerned about the potential impacts of substance that can affect DNA or RNA. Here are a few reasons why certain substances might be added to food or used in other ways, and why transparency and regulation are crucial. Intentions and regulations. Flavor enhancements, meaning additives like Disodium 5 Ribonucleotides are used to improve the taste of food. The intention is to make food more appealing, not to harm people. But it's harming people, okay? I got proof. I'm putting links in the description. Nutritional benefits. Some substances are added to enhance the nutritional value of food, such as vitamins, minerals, and the goal is to improve public health. This is that flowery stuff again, that flowery talk. Go back to sleep. Safety and approval. Before any additive can be used in food, it must go through rigorous testing and approval processes to ensure its safety for consumption. Regulatory bodies like the FDA and the United States oversees this, but that information needs to be released to the public. Potential for misuse. Unfortunately, there can be situations where substances might be used in ways that are not fully understood or disclosed. This can lead to concerns about lack of transparency. Sometimes consumers are not fully informed about what is in their food, leading to mistrust. Unintended consequences. Even substances that are deemed safe can have unforeseen effects. We already know about that, especially if they're consumed in large amounts or by individuals with specific sensitivities. Holistic and ethical considerations. This is important. From a holistic and ethical standpoint, see, now we're going back to the esoteric. It's important to respect individual choices and the right to know what we are consuming. Many people advocate for natural and organic foods, preferring foods that are free from artificial additives and closer to their natural state. Clear labeling, ensuring that all ingredients are clearly listed on food labels so consumers can make informed choices. And ethical practices, encouraging food producers to prioritize health, safety, and transparency over profit. Now, we have a role, people. Our role is to read our labels. Check the ingredients on the packaging, what they have listed. This is how this whole entire video started. It's from me looking at the label. Choose natural foods. Opt for whole, unprocessed foods when possible. 3. Stay informed. Keep up with news and research about food and safety additives, and also recalls, because we've had a lot of those as well. I said thanks for understanding, and I meant to say teaching me. Thanks also for seeing the logical and spiritual side of this. Balanced mind is very important. This is the final words of AI. You're very welcome. I'm glad I could help insights from both illogical and spiritual perspectives. A balanced mind truly is important, and it's wonderful to see you valuing both aspects in your journey. If you ever want to explore more topics, whether they're scientifically grounded or spiritually enriching, I'm here to chat. Take care and keep seeking that balance. Okay, that was our interview with AI. And I just want to say what we did was we focused on the exoteric explanation initially. Second, we focused on the esoteric explanation. And then we also came to a conclusion, and that's a balance assessment because we took the left and the right mind into consideration. We took the logic and the spiritual and said, okay, how can we assess this? Is it fair? No. It needs to be some sort of way that people can have a say-so in the process of the food that they eat. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe if you see this on YouTube. Make sure you follow if you're on Instagram and also Twitter. Make sure that this video gets out because people need to know exactly what's in their food. They have no idea. And it's going to take a community to be able to educate everyone on what's being placed in front of us, what's being taken away from us, all these different things that are going on in the world today. If you have any comments, please make sure you give us some comments below. If you've noticed that you see certain things and you want us to research it, please give us that information. And what we'll do is we'll take the time out and see if we can find some things out for you. This is Phoenix Ankaa. Thank you so much if you were able to stay through the whole entire video. Ciao.